Good Monday morning. This is Robin, and you are at Phoenix Farms. Actually, you're in my backyard. The farm's down that way, but so I am doing my typical first thing in the morning routine. I've got to come out and check my nursery, water all the starts in there, make sure everything is happy and healthy. Today I'm hoping to get some lettuce transplants in and maybe direct sow a few other things. If I don't get to it today, that's okay though. I've got tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and I think Saturday too of this week is going to be rainy. So I'm trying to get as much done today and tomorrow outside. So on the rainy days, I can just work in the tunnels, or maybe I'll have to work on the computer those days. I'd much rather be outside. But yeah, so I'm going to water these guys in. These are some of our lettuce starts here, and you just saw me kind of spray and top water all of our plants. I do that first thing in the morning to give them get the soil up top really, really wet, and just to kind of provide some extra moisture in here. But that's really not the most efficient way to water, and I'm going to show you our setup here. Some of these tomato starts, we just don't have what I'm going to show you that fits these trays, so we do what we can. But all of these lettuce trays, we do something called bottom watering. And look at all that beautiful root growth that's coming through. It's basically got my 200 cell tray here to hold all of my seedlings. But instead of coming through and top watering every day, these guys are actually sitting in water in what's called a bottom water tray. And that way that gives these plants the opportunity to soak up as much water as they need throughout the day. The soil never dries out as long as I've got water down there. It trains the roots to grow straight down and develop a really healthy root system for when I transplant them. And it makes my job with coming through and watering every day a lot easier. So we do that these are some of our kale transplants. Those have got the same setup. Let me go over here and show you these guys. Basil. Oh yeah, look at these guys. Yep, those have got a really healthy root growth system. So that's bottom watering. It's more efficient for the plants and it's easy for you. You're not having to come out every day and making sure they get a good soak, because they can take up as much as they want from that bottom tray. And really, if I was just bottom watering, I could probably come out maybe twice a week and just check and make sure everybody had water in their little trays underneath. But like I said, not all of our plants have that set up, and I like to be out here and put eyes on everything every day. So that's why. By the bed space. What you see behind me is our open field that we haven't put into cultivation yet. Greenhouses are right next to me. We were gonna try and get the plastics on this one, and the wind picked up as soon as we got out here, so that'll have to wait for another day. I am just doing some cleanup around here. This space behind me, if you don't stay on top of it, gets out of control pretty quick. So I'm running the mower through. We mowed inside the big tunnel so I can put my weed mat down. We're gonna do some weed eating, and it's supposed to rain the next several days. So once we get all this cleanup done, this will be my last opportunity to really get stuff in the ground with the push seeder, the Jang. So we're gonna try and get that done as well. I've got to move some tarps. I feel like the stuff that I tell you guys that I do is the same thing every video, but really this is my life. There's a lot of seeding, there's a lot of transplanting, there's a lot of moving tarps, there's a lot of mowing, a lot of weed eating. At some point in the near future there will be more harvesting, but we're just really kind of getting into our season right now, so a lot of our long-term crops are still growing. So if it's boring right now, I promise it won't be in the next few weeks, so hang in there. But yeah, we're just gonna clean up some things, get some stuff in the ground, and I think if we get all that done, I'll be in pretty good shape before this rain comes, and then I can just work in the tunnels the next couple days. So that is the plan. All right, I just went and grabbed my transplants for the beds this morning, and I thought I'd show my handy dandy little tool here. This is a huge time saver. I believe we got the auger attachment off of Amazon, but it just hooks to my drill here, and I can literally, let me turn my camera. I can literally go around hole to hole and just, I can go as deep as I want to or as shallow as I want to. It typically will help me rip out all of these weeds as well. So definitely a worthwhile investment. I'm going to be transplanting kale into this bed, and then I have 2 beds worth of squash transplants I'm going to do. So let me get started on that and I'll take you along. So these tunnels are great. Eventually we're going to be putting in roll-up sides so it's easier to manage, but they hold in heat for us at night, keep our little seedlings protected from the wind and too much rainwater, but we do have to come through and vent them when the sun comes out. It can really get hot in these guys really quickly, so as soon as the sun starts peaking, somebody's got to come out here and make sure everything's opened up. I see a few little guys that are desperately in need of water, so I'm going to run a water cycle. Oh, it's hot in here. But I just noticed as I was transplanting my kale that nobody had come over to do this yet. So full stop, vent the tunnels, otherwise everything dies. Well, it would appear that my cucumbers are ready for trellising. In fact, look at this guy right here. Oh yeah, we need to get some strings on these guys. Unfortunately, I have all these little weeds that I'm gonna have to pull in the process. Actually, I have a better idea. I'm gonna make my kids come in here and hand weed these little suckers. So, have I mentioned how much I very strongly dislike irrigation? Because I've been messing with it for the last probably 45 minutes. And it still isn't doing what I want it to do. So I'm sweaty. I would really rather be at the house with my kids. Here I am, trying to fix the water lines. Wish me luck. There you go. Run, 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 run. Dig, dig, dig. Woo! Today is Wednesday, and the rain is not supposed to come through until later today, The plan is to get plastics on this monstrosity before that happens, so then I can work in the tunnels the next few days. So we'll see how that goes. Right now the wind is really calm, which you can't really have much wind at all if you're doing these plastics. They kind of, if they catch any wind, they act like a sail and you're gone halfway in the air. In fact, last year, 2 years ago, my husband got lifted up off the ladder trying to hold on to some plastics. It was kind of scary. So we're going to see how far we get with this today. If we get to a point where we're like, hey, we got to stop, we'll just leave this rolled out on the side of the tunnel and weight it down until we can have a less windy day. But fingers crossed we can get it taken care of, because it would sure give me more opportunity to get work done during the rainy days the rest of the week. So okay, we've got it all the way laid out. Something we're realizing, I think we may have been given the wrong piece of plastic. This is nowhere near big enough to cover both end walls and all of this tunnel. So I think what we can do is get one end wall completely done and get it to cover the full arches here, and then we'll have to purchase some additional greenhouse plastics, or maybe use some of what we have left over from another tunnel to get this side done. So super bummer. Okay, so the process is using rope to go up over. We're just slowly dragging this guy up and around. The hardest part is getting it to cross this peak at the top. Once we can get most of it over, it's real easy to pull. You'd be surprised at how heavy this plastic is. You saw earlier in the video I had to move it with the lawnmower. It's incredibly heavy, and even just small sections of it are really hard to pull over. So that's why we do it just a little bit at a time. We're gonna keep going here and get this guy pulled all the way over. All right, success. Yes. This is how we're gonna get these ropes over the tunnel. It's a baseball and a tube sock attached to rope that we're gonna tie to the actual little straps here that go over the tunnels. Last time we had our 10-year-old who occasionally plays pitcher for his baseball team help us with this. It worked out pretty well, but we'll see. Success. Loosen or tighten as needed. So, hey guys, what are you playing? Zombies. Zombies. That sounds creepy. Oh dear. realized I've been talking about end walls this whole video sequence, and I haven't exactly explained what the purpose of this is and how it works. So I'm going to show you real quick. This is how we secure all of our plastic to the actual metal framing of our tunnels. And you kind of see behind me, it's got this metal track, and the wiggle wire just kind of wiggles in between here, and it holds the plastic in place for me. So on our end walls, along framing here, and all along the top ridge, all the way down to almost ground level, on both ends of the tunnels has this wiggle wire track to keep the plastic in place. So it would appear that the children have been left unsupervised while I was gone, because their mothers are way down here. It looks like maybe they know they're in trouble. They're headed straight to their mamas. Right, it is Friday, harvest morning. So the kids actually had their last day of school yesterday, so I'm having a little later start than what I would like today, but that's okay. They needed me to be mom this morning. But I'm gonna run down this bed right here, harvest some salad mix, harvest some spinach, harvest some head lettuces, get all that washed and packaged to take up to Oklahoma City and to a few local customers this morning. So come along, check out what I'm doing, follow me throughout the morning.